Have you ever felt like you don't belong here? Like no matter how hard you try to fit in, something deep inside whispers that you're meant for more. That this life you're living is only the surface of who you truly are. That strange ache, that quiet pull, is not an accident. And if you're still here listening, it's not by coincidence. This message has found you because your soul is ready to remember what your mind has been trying to forget. You might be one of the chosen. But let's get one thing clear. Being chosen doesn't feel glamorous in the beginning. It doesn't start with applause, recognition, or light flooding your life. It begins in the shadows. It begins with silence, confusion, and isolation. Suddenly, the things that once thrilled you feel empty. The conversations you used to enjoy sound shallow. You can be surrounded by people and still feel like you're the only one in the room. And you start asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Why don't I feel connected anymore? Nothing is wrong with you. You're not broken. You're being separated. Life is pulling you out of the noise, out of the illusions, out of the shallow patterns that kept you distracted, so that for the first time you can hear your own soul clearly. This separation feels brutal because it looks like loss. People drift away. Old dreams fall apart. Habits you once loved no longer bring comfort. But this isn't punishment. It's preparation. You can't carry old baggage into your new destiny. And deep beneath the loneliness, something begins to stir. An inner knowing that whispers, you're meant for more. This is not your final form. That whisper grows louder the more you lean into it. And even if your outer life feels like it's crumbling, your inner world is slowly catching fire. That fire is the beginning of your awakening. And once it starts, nothing can put it out. When the calling begins to stir inside you, everything you once valued starts to shift. The chase for money no longer excites you the way it used to. The pursuit of popularity or approval feels hollow. Instead, you begin to crave peace more than praise. You start reaching for truth, even when it's uncomfortable, rather than clinging to comfort that keeps you numb. These changes aren't small. They completely rearrange the way you see the world. And here's where it gets complicated. The people around you notice. They don't always understand it, and often they don't respond well. Some will say you've changed, and they'll mean it as an insult. Some will quietly distance themselves, unable to explain why they no longer feel at ease around you. Others might even get uncomfortable in your presence without knowing why. That's because your frequency is rising, and when your energy shifts, it unsettles anyone still living inside the illusions you've begun to outgrow.
You'll find that you don't even have to say anything. Just your presence becomes a mirror. It reflects back to others the truth they've been avoiding. And truth, when someone isn't ready for it, can feel like a threat. So people label you, they resist you, they try to pull you back into the patterns you've just broken free from. And if you're not prepared, that resistance can feel isolating. You'll wonder why friends feel distant, why family doesn't get you, why even in a room full of people you feel alone. But hear me clearly, this loneliness is not a sign that you're lost. It's a sign that you're being found. It's the universe stripping away what no longer matches your purpose so that what truly belongs can enter. And while it feels like rejection, it's really protection. Every person leaving your life now is making space for the ones who will walk with you into the next chapter. At some point on this path, you'll wake up and feel like you don't even know who you are anymore. The dreams you once chased don't move you. The goals you worked so hard for suddenly feel meaningless. The person staring back at you in the mirror feels like a stranger. And that's terrifying, because it feels like you're dying inside. But you're not dying, you're shedding. All the labels, the masks, the roles you wore to survive, they begin to fall away. The identity you built to please the world no longer fits the soul that's emerging. And when the ego starts to break down, it can feel like chaos. One day you're steady, the next day you're in pieces. You cry for no reason. Old wounds resurface. Childhood pain comes flooding back. It feels like everything you buried is clawing its way out. But that's not weakness, it's purification. Every breakdown in this phase is actually a breakthrough in disguise. The tears you shed now are clearing out space for deeper wisdom, greater compassion, and a strength that isn't built on pretending anymore. You're being cleansed emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, so that when you step into your real purpose, you'll be carrying only truth, not old scars. And yes, it's messy. You'll feel raw, exposed, even unstable. But remember this, the chosen are not destroyed by these storms, they're forged in them. What feels like your undoing is actually your remaking. Your old self has to fall apart so your true self can rise. And once you begin to glimpse that truth, the fear of losing who you were is replaced by the excitement of discovering who you're becoming. As the old self falls away, something new begins to awaken inside you, gifts you didn't even know you had. Suddenly, your intuition sharpens. You can sense when something is off before anyone says a word. You notice synchronicities, numbers repeating, perfect timing, signs that line up so clearly they can't be brushed aside. Everyday moments begin to feel charged with meaning, as if life itself is speaking a secret language directly to your soul. At first, this can feel overwhelming. You wonder if you're imagining things. You question your sanity. How do you explain to others that you can feel the energy of a room the moment you walk in? How do you tell someone you just know when someone isn't being truthful? Most people won't understand, and that can feel isolating. But what you're experiencing isn't madness, it's awakening. It's like your eyes are adjusting to a light that has always been there, hidden behind the noise of your old life. And once you see, you can't unsee. You can't go back to ignoring the signs. You can't pretend you don't notice the patterns. You can't force yourself to tolerate what no longer resonates. This heightened perception is not a curse, it's a compass. It's your soul's way of guiding you toward the path you were always meant to walk. But with these gifts comes a challenge. The more your vision clears, the less you can cling to illusions. And illusions are everywhere. Relationships built on convenience, jobs built on fear, conversations built on ego. You'll find that your spirit grows heavy in places that no longer match your frequency. What once felt normal now feels unbearable. And that discomfort, painful as it is your soul's way of saying, this is not where you belong anymore. But here's what most people never tell you. The moment your light begins to rise, the darkness takes notice. And it doesn't sit quietly. The chosen one is often thrown into what feels like spiritual warfare. Old temptations resurface, pulling you back toward habits you thought you had left behind. Fear creeps in at night when you're alone. Doubt whispers louder than your intuition. And sometimes attacks seem to come out of nowhere. Random setbacks, heavy emotions, sudden conflict. This isn't because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're doing something right. When you carry a divine mission, everything that isn't aligned with that mission will try to stop you. Your awakening threatens the very system that runs on fear, distraction, and control. And when you begin to see through the illusion pushes back. It's in these moments that your training in solitude becomes crucial. You've been taught how to stand alone for a reason. If you can't stay rooted without applause, you'll crumble when the pressure mounts. That's why you've been walking through the fire, so you can carry light without being consumed by the shadows. But remember, the presence of resistance is proof of your purpose. Diamonds are only formed under pressure. Steel is only forged in fire. And your soul is being strengthened in the very battles you wish you didn't have to fight. So don't mistake the struggle for failure. It's preparation. The chosen are not spared from the storm. They're built inside it. And every time you refuse to bow to fear, you step more fully into the power you were born to carry. Something remarkable happens after the storm. Your pain begins to transform. You start to realize that the suffering you carried wasn't wasted. It was shaping you. Every heartbreak gave you compassion. Every loss deepened your empathy. Every struggle carved out space in your soul so you could hold more light. And as you begin to heal yourself, you feel an undeniable pull to help others heal too. This doesn't mean you become some kind of savior. It means your story, no matter how messy, becomes medicine. You suddenly understand people's pain without them saying a word, because you've been there. You know what it's like to cry yourself to sleep, to question your worth, to feel like you don't belong. And that understanding is powerful. It creates connection deeper than words, a kind of resonance that tells others, I see you. I've walked that road too. You'll start noticing how your presence alone becomes healing, not because you force it, but because your energy has shifted. The same wounds that once made you feel weak are now the very reason people feel safe with you. You become living proof that brokenness can be turned into strength, that endings can give birth to new beginnings. And the more you surrender to this process, the more anchored you become. You stop needing external validation because your worth is rooted in something eternal. You stop running from your past because you see how it forged your purpose. And you stop fearing the future because you know that every step, even the painful ones, has meaning. This is when you begin to understand. Being chosen was never about feeling special. It was about being prepared. Your healing is not just for you. It's a gift you'll carry for others. And that gift will speak louder than anything you could ever say. And now you see it. Being chosen was never about standing above anyone. It was about standing true, even when it meant standing alone. The silence, the isolation, the breakdowns, they weren't punishments. They were the fire that forged you. They stripped away the masks, burned off the illusions, and left behind only what was real. And what's real is stronger than anything the world could ever give or take away. If you felt like you don't belong here, if you've carried pain that no one else seems to understand, if you've walked away from everything just to protect your peace, then you already know. Deep down, your soul recognizes the truth. You are the chosen one. Not chosen to blend in, not chosen to follow the script, but chosen to light the way. The world won't always understand you. Some will resist you. Many will doubt you. But that doesn't matter. The chosen don't wait for permission. They move when their soul calls. They speak when their spirit burns. They rise even when no one is watching. Because they know their path is sacred. They know their presence is purpose.
And when the time is right, your light will speak louder than words ever could. Until then, protect your peace, trust the pull, and walk with courage. Because your path may feel lonely, but it will never be empty. Every challenge is shaping you. Every delay is refining you. Every moment is preparing you. So if you're hearing this right now, take it as confirmation. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're awakening. You're being repositioned. And your story, yes, even the parts that hurt, is the proof. If this message resonated, let it be your sign. Comment below so others on this path know they're not alone. And subscribe if you're ready to keep walking deeper into your awakening. Because chosen ones don't just survive the fire, they become the light that guides others through it.